Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. Coming up, we take a look at Auburn University campus news, such as the newly updated vaccine distribution plan and what tuition is doing for the first time in 30 years. Then, there was a helicopter crash in Alabama and everyone is encouraged to take back their expired prescription drugs. Then, in national news, the number of mass shootings in the last few months continues to grow and there is a vote to add a 51st state to the United States. And finally, a poll may give hope to an unexpected Texas gubernatorial candidate, and we present our Pet of the Week. All that and more coming up on our final Eagle Eye News at 6 of the semester.
Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Jack Greenwald.
And I'm AJ Revera. Auburn University has reached a number of 7 new cases on campus for the week of April 12th through the 18th. This brings the total number of confirmed cases to 2,291 for the university since August. In addition, Auburn's Sentinel testing program, which consists of voluntarily testing asymptomatic students, faculty, and staff, conducted 162 tests last week with a 6.17% positivity rate. As of April 20th, Auburn has received 19,750 vaccine doses. 7,067 for the first dose have been administered, along with 6,192 of the second dose. If you think you have or you have come in contact with COVID-19, please self-report to the University Resource Center at 334-844-6000.
As of this week, Auburn University has opened up the COVID-19 vaccination to all students who are in attendance. The university has now moved into a phase of distribution that no longer requires specific qualifications to receive the vaccine. Appointments for the vaccine are being made through the submission of a vaccine interest form, which can be found on the Auburn Resource Center's website under the COVID-19 vaccine tab.
Are you tired of sitting in Zoom classes all day? Are you ready to go back to in-person instruction? Well, you might be in luck. Auburn University has announced that it plans to return to a full in-person on-campus academic and student life experience for the fall 2021 semester. Although the entirety of the plan has not yet been released, Auburn has provided some guidelines as to what fall 2021 will look like. Classes will be conducted in a pre-COVID way to resemble a typical fall semester, and most elements of campus life that involve groups of people will resume normal operations under this new plan. While many changes will be made, the campus community will still be asked to follow certain health guidelines and safety precautions throughout the fall 2021 semester. This decision was made after consulting state and local health officials as well as input from students, faculty, and staff to ensure the best and safest experience for those on campus.
Yesterday, April 21st, Auburn University Housing hosted a ceremony to commemorate the naming of Matthews Hall, formerly known as Eagle Hall, located in the village. The new name is in honor of Josetta Britton Matthews, who was the first black student to earn a degree from Auburn University and also the university's first black faculty member. The ceremony was held in adherence to social distancing guidelines and was streamed live to watch remotely. In addition, another village residence hall was renamed in honor of Auburn's first African-American Board of Trustees member, Bessie Mae Holloway, also represented the 1st Congressional District of Alabama from 1985 to 2000, and was a lifelong resident of Pritchard, Alabama, before passing away on September 11, 2019. The formerly known Tiger Hall will now be known as Holloway Hall in remembrance of all of Holloway's work.
For the first time in at least 30 years, students of Auburn University and Auburn University at Montgomery will not see an increase in tuition. Auburn's Vice President of Business and Financial and Chief Financial Officer, Kelly Showmaker, said the fall 2021 tuition freeze was recommended due to the many parents and students facing ongoing financial hardships as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. In addition, Auburn has also received a significant increase in state appropriations for the fiscal year of 2022 to help offset this loss. When we come back, a helicopter went down during a training exercise in Alabama, and Alabamians are encouraged to participate in National Prescription Drug Take Back Day this weekend. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. A helicopter crashed just outside the Fort Rucker Army Base Tuesday morning near New Brockton, Alabama. The UH-72 Lakota helicopter was carrying 2 people on a training mission when it went down. The crew had to be airlifted to the hospital, and there was yet to be an update on their condition. The helicopter sustained significant damage, and the cause of the accident remains under investigation.
Alabamians are being encouraged to participate in the Drug Enforcement Administration's National Prescription Drug Take Back Day this Saturday, April 24th. This year's event marks 20 years of the nation returning its potentially dangerous medicines that have expired or are no longer needed for their recipient. Law enforcement personnel will be available at sites across Alabama to collect unused prescription drugs for safe and proper disposal. No questions asked and with no personal information gathered. Those looking to participate can check with their local law enforcement agencies or check the DEA website for a nearby location. Help prevent unnecessary drug poisonings and abuse by doing your part to return your unused or expired prescription drugs this Saturday.
Keep Opal Like It Beautiful is hosting a community-wide cleanup and fun day this Saturday, April 24th. The event will run from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., beginning with litter and trash pickup, followed by free throw and slam dunk competitions. Competitors can win various gift cards and even a signed basketball from Auburn coach Bruce Pearl. Concessions will be available for purchase. To register, go online or just show up the day of the event. Help do your part to keep Opal Like It Beautiful, and remember, only losers litter. Don't be an Opal loser.
If you're still looking for something to fill your upcoming Saturday, the 20th annual Auburn City Fest is this weekend. From 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, members of the Auburn community will be gathering in Kiesel Park to continue an Auburn spring tradition with food, friends, and fun. Live music, hilarious entertainers, and the Auburn Raptor Center are just a few of the attractions that will be at City Fest. The event will continue Saturday, rain or shine, so we'll see you there. When we come back, a verdict was reached in a landmark trial this week, and President Biden has set a lofty carbon emissions goal for the U.S. You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. Tuesday afternoon, a Minneapolis jury found former police officer Derek Chauvin guilty on all three charges of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter after the 45-year-old's killing of George Floyd during an arrest over a counterfeit bill last year.
Members of the jury, I will now read the verdicts as they will appear in the permanent records of the 4th Judicial District. State of Minnesota, County of Hennepin, District Court, 4th Judicial District. State of Minnesota Plaintiff versus Derek Michael Chauvin, Defendant. Verdict, Count 1. Court File Number 27, CR 20-12646. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to Count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:44 p.m. Signed, Juror Foreperson, Juror Number 19. Same caption, verdict Count 2. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to Count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Signed by Jury Foreperson, Juror Number 19. Same caption, verdict Count 3. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to Count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Jury Foreperson 019.
The judge presiding over the case stated that sentencing will take place in 8 weeks. The jury reached this conclusion following 10 hours of deliberation across 2 days. The Floyd family civil legal team called it painfully earned justice for George Floyd's family and the community in Minneapolis.
It was a deadly weekend of shootings across the United States, with 6 states experiencing mass shootings in that time frame. That brings the total number of mass shootings to over 50 in the last month alone. CNN's Brian Todd reports on the incidents and growing calls for stricter gun laws.
The first light is in honor of Matthew R. Alexander.
Delivering even more disturbing news in the wake of the mass shooting in their city. Indianapolis police announced that the 19-year-old man who fatally shot 8 people at a FedEx facility before killing himself had purchased the 2 assault rifles that he used legally in July and September of last year. That, despite the suspect's mother raising concerns to police about his mental state just a few months earlier and authorities confiscating a shotgun from him. The Indianapolis police chief told the New York Times authorities had not tagged the suspect under the state's so-called red flag law, which temporarily bans people who are found by a judge to be too dangerous from possessing a firearm.
It lets me know that there's a lapse somewhere in the double check
system with regards to red flags. And so if you have an individual who's already had their guns confiscated, there needs to be maybe a separate section within the statistical data that these people are now housed so that they can be readily identified and not get lost in the crowd, if you will.
This comes as the nation convulses from more gun violence over the weekend, including a 7-year-old girl shot multiple times and killed in the drive-through lane of a McDonald's in Chicago on Sunday. 3 killed, 3 wounded during a shooting at a bar in Kenosha, Wisconsin. 1 person killed and 5 others, including a 12-year-old, wounded by gunfire on Saturday as they attended a vigil for a shooting victim in Columbus, Ohio. 6 people injured when someone opened fire at a 12-year-old's birthday party in a New Orleans suburb. All told, at least 9 dead and several wounded just in weekend violence in 6 states. And since the Atlanta area spa shootings on March 16th, there have been at least 50 mass shootings reported in the United States.
When you see people getting killed, I mean, in this last month, it's just been horrifying what's happened. How can you say that's not a public health issue?
What also has health professionals and public officials worried is the idea of Americans simply accepting this kind of mass gun violence.
We must guard against resignation or even despair. The assumption that this is simply how it must be, and that we might as well get used to it.
Despite the current halt on distribution of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine and eligibility for a vaccination being expanded to all 16 years and older, health officials say the U.S. has a sufficient supply to meet the increasing demand.
1 out of every 4 Americans is now fully vaccinated, according to the latest numbers from the CDC. Still, COVID-19 cases are climbing. The U.S. now making $150 million available to community-based healthcare providers to help COVID-19 patient care and to get more shots in arms.
If you're 16 or over, it is your turn to get vaccinated, no matter where you live.
Officials say 9 out of 10 Americans now live within 5 miles of a vaccination site, with 28 million vaccines shipped to states last week.
So we are increasingly confident that while people may have some period of time where they need to wait, we do believe that there is adequate vaccine supply for everybody to get vaccinated.
While Johnson & Johnson's vaccine remains paused, another setback for the company. Emergent Biosolutions has paused any new manufacturing of the J&J coronavirus vaccines at a Baltimore plant at the request of FDA, but the company didn't say why. But Dr. Anthony Fauci predicts the 1-dose shot will be back on the market.
I would imagine that what we will see is that it would come back, and it would come back in some sort of either warning or restriction.
CDC vaccine advisors are set to meet again Friday to discuss the future of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in the U.S. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
President Biden is expected to commit the U.S. to an ambitious environmental goal today, aiming to reduce carbon emissions by 52% by 2030. That's a more aggressive goal than the one set by President Obama to cut emissions by up to 28% by 2025, when he first joined the Paris Climate Agreement. Officials say Biden reached the number Wednesday after long consultations with experts. Biden has not yet announced his plans to reach such a goal, but those specifics are expected to come later in the year.
Moving further than ever before, the push for statehood for Washington, D.C. has passed in the House of Representatives along party lines 216 to 208. D.C.'s non-voting House Representative Eleanor Holmes proposed the D.C. statehood bill, which was passed by Democrats in an effort to, quote, restore equal citizenship to the residents of the nation's capital and rectify a historic injustice. The bill faces an uphill battle in the Senate. However, as it will likely require 60 votes, 10 of those Republican to pass.
Tomorrow, once again, we will be considering legislation to assure that the 700,000 plus people who live in the District of Columbia are in fact equal citizens to all their brothers and sisters throughout the United States of America. In no other democratic nation in the world does the capital city of that nation not have a vote in their parliament? Now, our parliament is called the Congress. Think of that. In no other democratic nation in the world are their citizens treated unequally in terms of a vote in the parliament of their nation.
When we return, Eagle Eye's Jenny Jordan has an Auburn sports update you won't want to miss. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Jenny Jordan here with your update on everything in Auburn sports. Auburn football hosted their spring game Saturday, and Auburn fans packed Jordan-Hare Stadium to see their Tigers for the first time under new head coach Bryan Harsin. The day kicked off with the traditional A-Day award presentation to outstanding players from the previous season. Saturday's presentation included 2019 and 2020 winners. Following that, A-Day began with an Auburn versus the Tigers matchup. Eagle Eye Sports' Thomas Lynn Murphy has the story.
For the first time in 2 years, Auburn held its annual A-Day game Saturday inside Jordan-Hare Stadium. Team Auburn defeated Team Tigers with a final score of 17-3, with offensive MVP Tank Bigsby and defensive MVP Trey Elston making the biggest impacts on the day. This was the first time Auburn fans were able to get a glimpse of what Bryan Harsin and his staff are doing to bring the Tigers back to a championship level. Following the game on Saturday, here's what Bryan Harsin had to say in his post-game press conference.
Well, first, I just want to acknowledge our fans. That was great to have them out there. It was good to see people in the stands, and you could feel it. It was an environment that we just can't recreate in practice, and something that we discuss with our players of just as you perform or prepare to perform, remember there's going to be that factor. And so today it was great for our guys to be in there. It was great to see the fans and to interact and have their interaction on the field. And I think our guys appreciated that. So a lot of things, but today the focus was coming out, operate, execute, and seeing these guys just go out and play smart, play hard, have fun, and just cut it loose, playing the game. The only way you get better is playing the game. And so we saw, at least from, without going back and watching the tape, what I saw, some solid execution with our blue offense. Thought the blue defense played well. Our second offense did not move the ball very well or very consistently, but I think that's because the defense had been playing really around the football fast and getting to them. Special teams, we got our work in, and those were all just a tempo that was not live today. We wanted to get our specialists some work. They executed that. We wanted to get the communication from each sideline, getting guys on and off. And as simple as it may have looked, that's not hard to do. So appreciate our coaches and the players. We walked through that this morning. They had a chance to focus on those type of things, and it all went well. And then just to be in a game-like atmosphere, we had TV timeouts, we had officials out there, we've got media on the sidelines. So just creating that environment, giving us a chance to get a taste of that as we move into that next phase and start getting ready for the summer. Well, he made good decisions. That was one of the things. You see Bo, he's got escapability. You know that he can throw it. And I thought he made good decisions. He checked the ball down. We had some deeper throws that were called, but they weren't open, so he checked it down. He found the underneath throw. He made good decisions in the red zone. There was chances to possibly scramble and throw one, and he pulled it down and ran it, and were able to get us in a first down situation. But overall, his efficiency in making decisions was one. I thought the other thing is we wouldn't know this, but getting us into the right play. There were some check plays and different things that we had called that he has to make decisions on. We changed the tempo up several times, and so he's got to be able to communicate that. So there's really several things in there that I thought Coach Bobo did a good job of really challenging him and making him operate. There was plenty of things that we did do well today as far as stuff the coaches have been hitting and emphasizing with each group and each unit. And then some things that we got to work on, which is great. We have a practice on Monday that we get a chance to come back to and clean things up and then talk about what we're doing moving forward when we get into this time where finals are happening. Guys have a chance to take a little bit of a break, and then we come back in June and get started. So there's a lot of things that are going to be happening here this next week and moving forward. And then we all know about the June 1st and having campuses open back up and opportunities for camps and opportunities for visits.
With A-Day now behind them, the Tigers have wrapped up their spring practice. They will now look towards fall camp and preparing for the first game of the season on September 4th against the Akron Zips at home. From Auburn, Alabama, Thomas and Murphy, Eagle Eye TV.
Coming off an upsetting weekend in Tuscaloosa, Auburn baseball hosted Samford Tuesday night in Plainson Park and came out on top with a 6-4 win. Auburn took the lead with a 4-run third inning and never looked back, securing the midweek win. Auburn's trio of Peyton Glavin, Carson Swilling, and Carson Skipper held Samford 2-1 runs on 3 hits in the 4th through 8th innings. Cody Greenhill was on the mound in the 9th and pitched 1-2-3 inning to earn his 20th career save. Peyton Glavin is credited with the win. Auburn's offense took a 2-0 lead in the first with a 2-run home run to give Auburn a 2-0 lead. Samford answered quickly and scored 3 in the top of the second, but Auburn's 4-run third inning gave them the lead again, and they held Samford off to get the win. Auburn had a quick turnaround as they hosted Jacksonville State Wednesday at Plainson Park for their second game of the week, and it was an exciting one. Tyler Miller hit a walk-off single in the 10th to give Auburn their second win of the week, beating Jacksonville State 8-7. Mason Barnett started on the mound for Auburn but pitched just 1 inning. Joseph Gonzalez pitched 3 1/3 innings of scoreless relief after Seb Thomas allowed 4 runs in less than an inning of work. While Gonzalez was on the mound, Auburn started making their comeback, scoring 5 runs in the 6th and 7th innings. Jacksonville State forced extra innings with solo home runs in the 8th and 9th, but Tyler Miller's single won it for the Tigers in dramatic fashion. Baseball has Thursday off before they host Florida this weekend for a 3-game series at Plainsman Park. Game 1 will be Friday at 6 p.m. Softball also played a midweek matchup last night and fell 1-0 against Chattanooga. Auburn held Chattanooga scoreless for 5 innings, but a late 6th-inning run gave them the lead, and Auburn was unable to battle back. Lexi Handling earned the start for Auburn, but pitched just 2 1/3 innings before KK Dismukes came in for relief and pitched the remainder of the game. Dismukes is credited with the loss and is now 3-2 on the season. The Tigers tried to battle back in the 7th when Alyssa Revera hit a deep ball to center field, but it caught just at the warning track. Justice Perry then got hit by a pitch, but Chattanooga threw out pitch runner Paige Garrity at second to win the game. Softball will return to action Friday and will be on the road this weekend, traveling to Ole Miss for a 3-game series. First pitch is Friday at 5 p.m. Auburn is once again atop the Southeastern Conference in women's golf as the Tigers swept Mississippi State 5-0 in Sunday's match final to capture the 10th conference title in program history and first under head coach Melissa Llewellyn. That's all we have for you tonight, but for more Auburn sports, follow our Twitter at EagleEyeTV_sports and check out our website at eagleeyeauburn.com. I'm Jenny Jordan and War Eagle.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. The odds of award-winning actor Matthew McConaughey entering the political realm have significantly risen this week as a poll released by the Dallas Morning News and University of Texas at Tyler found that 45% of Texas voters would vote for McConaughey against the 33% of voters that would vote for current incumbent Governor Abbott. McConaughey has been teasing a run for the position for months now, and this poll could be the match that sparks the McConaughey campaign fire. However, the road to gubernatorial candidacy may not be as easy as this poll indicates. The actor could hit roadblocks in either major party's primary, as voters from both sides are not entirely looking for a centrist candidate like McConaughey. Name recognition and popularity may help a potential bid for the governorship, but Matthew McConaughey has ways to go before he can be considered a legitimate candidate.
It's time to go green and celebrate the Earth. April 22nd is Earth Day, a reminder that individuals can affect positive change on the environment. Earth Day is celebrated around the world and marked by more than 1 billion people every year in nearly 200 countries. It started in 1970 because of growing concern over air pollution caused by leaked leaded gas. According to Earth Day's End Plastic Pollution campaign, plastic harms marine and human health, litters beaches and landscapes, and clogs waste streams and landfills. Earth Day events will be streaming live this year, so go to the earthday.org to participate. You can also find events and ideas and work toward reducing plastic in your home. Have you been holding out for a hero? Our 2-year-old pet of the week is strong and fast and fresher than life. The best part is that you don't have to look where the mountains meet the heavens above or where the lightning splits the sea. Hero is right here. He's vaccinated, altered, microchipped, heartworm negative, and a gentleman through and through. If you save his life, he'll be saving yours each and every day. Just make sure you don't have a cat. He doesn't do cats. There is kryptonite. Apply online to adopt this sweet boy today.
Now we're out of time, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm AJ Rivera.
And I'm Jack Greenwald. Thank you so much for watching, and for the last time until next semester, War Eagle.